Tell me about your weaknesses. This is a very tricky interview question that comes up a lot and has even the most seasoned interviewees stumped. Hi everyone, my name's Harvey, and in today's video, we're going to be explaining how to best respond to this question, and I'll also include some examples for you as well. Let's get straight into it. So it's understandable for this question to stump a lot of people out at interview. After all, candidates are expecting to go in selling themselves, and they're not really expecting to have to give any negative points to the interviewer. Well, the interviewers might rephrase this question in different ways, i.e. tell me about your development areas, tell us about your weaknesses, but it all means the same thing. They want to gauge your self-awareness, they want to gauge your sense of humility, and they also want to see if those development areas are going to be a problem if you're successful in the role. Now, I always advise candidates to approach this question like this. Is your weakness relevant to the workplace? That's the most important thing. And is it fixable? Always keep this in mind, and when we're going through the responses a bit later, hopefully you'll be able to identify each point. I appreciate this one's quite tricky, as I don't know you, I don't know what your weakness would be if you were to answer this in an interview. The responses I've picked are quite broad, and hopefully at least one will relate to you. So, weakness number one. I struggle to maintain a healthy work-life balance. This is a good response, as it shows that you're going to be committed to the employer in your work, but it also shows that human side that maybe the interviewer will be able to relate to. Okay, so we've identified our weakness. Here's a response that you can use, or at least use as a foundation for your answer. Because I enjoy and I'm very proud of my work, I sometimes find it difficult to switch off and to allow enough time for my personal life. I've recently become aware of this issue, and I'm trying my best to put in reasonable actions so as to distinguish my working life with my personal life. This includes switching off my emails or turning off my phone after core working hours. As I said, feel free to use this as a foundation. If you copy word for word what I'm saying, it might sound a little bit robotic, but if you can relate to this issue, use the wording I've got here and really make it your own. Weakness number two, you could say that I sometimes struggle to say no to my colleagues and end up taking on more work than I should. Someone who is open to accepting additional tasks and supporting their colleagues is always going to be seen as attractive to an employer. But it can become a weakness when you're taking on so much work that you struggle to meet your own deadlines. Here's how I would respond to this one. One of my professional weaknesses is that sometimes I struggle to say no when accepting additional tasks from my colleagues. I am aware that this issue sometimes affects my own workload, so I've taken manageable steps to avoid it going forward. For example, I now utilize productivity software such as Notion, and even utilize project management tools that allow me to prioritize and assess my own workload. So again, it's about identifying a workplace related weakness, showing that you're aware of how it impacts your work, and also providing examples of reasonable and realistic actions you've taken to overcome the weakness. Okay, so a third example of a weakness could be that you are overly attentive to detail, or that sometimes you're too detail orientated. Again, this is one of those ones where it's positive in the sense that an employer is always going to want someone who is careful of their work, who's attentive to detail to make sure they're not making any mistakes. But it can be a weakness as it could affect your pacing with getting certain work completed. You might notice the theme here with these answers. They are weaknesses, but they can also be seen as positives in a different light. Here is the exact response I'd give for this question. One of my greatest workplace weaknesses is that I tend to focus too much on the finer details of a project. Whilst I'm pleased that my detail orientation allows for me to make less mistakes in my work, I'm aware that sometimes it can affect my pacing and hitting deadlines. To tackle this, I've been assessing how long I spend on a certain task, and I've been continuously reminding myself to focus on the wider project. This has allowed me to maintain a high standard of work whilst also ensuring I am still hitting deadlines. Okay, so those are my examples and responses to the tell me your weaknesses question. If you are interviewing soon, I hope this stuff comes to mind and is helpful. And let me know in the comment section below so I can wish you good luck, or if you've already had an interview and it's been successful, also let me know so I can congratulate you. If this has helped, please leave a like, subscribe for more careers related content, and yeah, that's all from me. Thank you very much and have a good day. Bye bye.